Capoeira is a combination of many things. It's music, movement, philosophy, culture, history, poetry, art, and if you do it a long time it becomes spirit as well. Capoeira means lots of different things to different people, and the longer you do it, the more these things are allowed to develop.
Yeah. Meu nome é o Tijolo, sou eu monitor, eu conheço capoeira, capoeira meu amor. Inglaterra está vazio, nossa roda com calor. Meu mestre é Silvia, marca sombra, beija-flor, capoeira senzala santos, Inglaterra criador, na violência é o desejo.
Capoeira originated in Africa. It's said that it was developed from a ritual dance called the Ngola dance, which mimicked the fight between two zebras during the mating season. Once the slave trade started and the African slaves were transported to Brazil, they started to adapt this dance into a fight and to develop it so that they could escape. But Capoeira developed in Brazil. Without the slave trade and without that passage of human traffic, there wouldn't have been a need for Capoeira to develop.
Capoeira to me means quite a few things. It's good for vision, your personality changes, and it makes you feel more aware of things that's going on around you. An important aspect of Capoeira is always to be looking at what's going on, whether you're playing or whether you're not playing. You can gather a lot of information, and it tends to reflect on the way your life is. You tend to listen to people a lot more.
For me, Capoeira is just a complete, it's freedom of movement, freedom of expression. It's just an escape. You can go train Capoeira and be who you are, and when you're playing in your game, you're pretty much just yourself. Like when I watch some people play who maybe outside Capoeira are really shy, or they are a certain way outside Capoeira, when they're playing their game, you can really see them, like they have their own style, and that's really, it's just freedom, I guess. It's an escape, and it's got everything, it's all encompassing, so.
Before I started Capoeira, I was into the jazz fusion dance scene, which I used to go and do a lot. And there's a big link between Capoeira and jazz fusion, the way we used to go out. And it's the same sort of thing where you've got a circle of people and we'd have dancers from Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Huddersfield, and you'd face off with each other. And it's the same link with Capoeira, whereas you're in a circle and playing together and using your personality and showing stuff, I suppose.
When I was about 6, I started training gymnastics with my sister for about, like really seriously for about, I don't know, 7 years. All the time, I was obsessed with it and trained 3 hours a night, like all the time. And then when my mom started teaching dance, ballet and jazz and tap dancing, so I started doing that. And then I went away to Brazil back and forth a couple times and saw Capoeira, but never really did it because I didn't really have the guts, I guess. And then the last time I started training for about 5 months. At the time I was doing kickboxing in Canada pretty seriously. So then I did concentrate on kickboxing, and then I came to England and found Capoeira, so I decided to get into that because I love it. So that's how I started. Looked for it and found it here. So.
Capoeira has influenced many, many other styles of dance. I mean, the one that we all know is breakdance when Capoeira went to America in about '75. the street dancers saw the movements and started to develop breakdance. In this country, in Europe and America, contemporary dance has been majorly influenced by capoeira, and it uses a lot of the moves. And now you've seen it filter into MTV, and all the pop chart dancers are using capoeira moves. So it's had an influence throughout dance. There are lots of reasons for taking capoeira out onto the street and to festivals. I mean, the primary reason is because capoeira is still very young in this country, and it's just to make people see capoeira, or to let them see capoeira so that they might become interested in the art form. The other reason is to show capoeira in its true form as well, because what's happening in Britain at the moment is there's lots and lots of capoeira teachers appearing and teaching just parts of the art form. So it's an effort to try and keep that alive. And it's good to take my capoeiristas and my students into different environments. Capoeira comes from lots of different environments, from the Senzala slave camps to the street and in academies as well. So I think it's good to take the students into those different environments and see how it influences and affects their capoeira. About a year ago, Capoeira Norte started giving out scholarships to young people that we thought would benefit from practicing capoeira, and I encountered Rutino on a workshop at a school, and he was particularly gifted at capoeira and seemed to enjoy it a lot. So we contacted his school, and through a wonderful teacher called Jane Evans, we started to arrange for him to attend classes.
When I first met Paul, I was going to Wally Range and with my friends from my school, and then I saw Paul doing his capoeira class, and then he saw me doing my capoeira thing, and then I started doing it, and then he picked me out to come to his class, and then that's how I got into his class lessons. I want to carry on capoeira until I get old, until I'm ready to die. But from now, I'm hoping that I get as much belt as possible. So when I grow up, I can just get my career in future of my life.
We're going to do Pontera with a straight leg. Freeze. Very momentary. Not sure. Straight up. Okay. The position with
Primarily, I hope that my students gain confidence through the practice of capoeira. I mean, obviously, on a basic level, they're going to gain physical well-being by practicing something that's so holistic every day. The concept of time is also something that I try and instill in them. In the West, we're always in a hurry to run around, and we want to achieve things really quickly. In capoeira, it's a slow process in that I've been doing it 13 years and I'm still a baby in capoeira. My master, who's been doing it 40 years, will always say that he's learning capoeira. So that I hope, and I know that a lot of my students know that it's a patient road, and if they want to become teachers, they'll follow the proper path and take their time and make sure that they're fully rounded in their knowledge of capoeira before starting that development. I don't teach my students any specific philosophy or spirituality. Capoeira is intrinsically spiritual and philosophical, and one of the great reasons for doing capoeira is to discover that for yourself, and to make it relevant to you and your life. So through the different encounters in the Roda, these little layers are exposed piece by piece over a number of years of practicing capoeira. Above my master's school, or above Senzala Santos in Brazil, there's a plaque that sums up the philosophy of our group, and it says that we're all various expressions of the same face. And the Roda of Capoeira, and the way I teach Capoeira, is an endeavour to help people to find their expression within that face.